Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Asia Rugby Live, Real Talk, Real Rugby with me, Rod, and of course today I have two special guests with me talking about the training and education. But before that, I would, I just want to update with you guys. If you log on to AsiaRugby.com, there's a lot of rugby news waiting for you to explore AsiaRugby.com. First of all, I think I'm quite excited as the Rugby Sevens Road to Tokyo that is taking shape, and a lot of teams are in Dubai right now. In preparation, one of the final phase of preparation for the Tokyo Olympics. So that is exciting, and that is one thing I think a lot of people are watching right now. So I hope to those who are tuning in today would appreciate what we are going to share and present from our two special guests here. Okay, so before I introduce, even though you have seen them, before I introduce them formally, let's look at the clip of training and education by World Rugby. Let's go. There you go, short clip by the training and education arm of World Rugby. And today we have two special guests who are experts in training and education, representing Asia Rugby and also World Rugby. So we have Jock, and also we have Jean Tong. We have Jock Peggie all the way from Scotland, Edinburgh, Scotland, and Jean Tong from my neighboring country in Singapore. I hope you guys are doing fine. First of all, I think we can call on Jock first. Jock, how have you been? How things are with you in Edinburgh, and probably you can share with us as well on your rugby experience that you have gone through before.
Yeah, thanks, Rod, and thanks for having thanks for having me on the show and giving me the opportunity to join you and to speak to all my Asian rugby friends out there. Yeah, it's cold just now in Edinburgh. Funnily enough, weather's a bit strange at the moment. I was cutting the grass the other day with my sunglasses on, and it started snowing. So a mixed bag at springtime over here. So yeah, no, things are going okay in lockdown over here. Thankfully, rugby will soon hopefully be restarting within the community in Scotland. That will hopefully be starting soon, and the professional game has been up and running throughout. So yeah, it's good to see rugby back on the horizon. Of course, the Six Nations has just finished, so it was great to see that tournament finish off, and yeah, looking forward to things coming back and more rugby getting played.
I reckon it's a privilege to experience a rugby tournament happening in your country, as right here in Singapore and Malaysia. Nothing is happening yet. Hopefully, something will be happening soon. And okay, the second person, who is, I can say he's also my mentor. He's also my Sifu. He's trained me in level one. For coaching, level one coaching back in 2008, 13 years ago. And in somewhere in 2013 and 2014, again he came back to Malaysia to coach, to be an educator in the level one strength and conditioning course. So I'm very grateful to you, Jean, and I appreciate your presence tonight. I've been wanting to talk to you for quite some time. I think we haven't seen each other for 5 years. It's good to have you here. Can you tell us, probably tell the audience? I know you so well. Can you tell us, the audience, little bit about yourself and your rugby experience?
Sure. I'll share with you some of my deep dark secrets. I actually started playing soccer, and I was in the school team. And And at age 14, I got pulled over to the rugby team and didn't look back since then. So from then on, all the way to age 45, so almost 31 years of playing rugby, of course, social and a bit of competitive in the middle. So that's the playing side of things. Coaching side of things, that started in 1998 and went all the way on to about 2018, so about 20 years. And in between, I actually picked up a job with IRB as a consultant then, and that was in 2009. So that probably explains why Rod saw me a couple of times in those years. In fact, in 2006, I attended the first educator course in Asia, in Japan. And from then on, I never looked back. Continued being an educator all the way till today. And today I am a master trainer with World Rugby and also the regional training consultant or manager for training education in Asia.
Thank you very much, Jean, for being here. Thank you very much, Jean and Jock, for being here. I reckon you our audience is going to have a great time listening to your experiences, and probably with by listening to the experiences that you guys are going to share, they can apply it to their own teams and probably programs of their own. Okay, first of all, probably I think a lot of people in Asia wants to know, Jock. Let me start with Jock first. How is Asia doing in terms of training and education?
Yeah, Asia. Thanks, Rod. Asia is doing very well in terms of training and education. You know, it's world rugby's number one priority to make the game as safe as possible. Player welfare is the number one priority, and training and education is a big part of that. And you know, we want to have qualified coaches and referees and first aiders and medics at every game. So Asia are doing really well in working with their member unions to implement these strategies and to help make the game as safe as possible. They've got a really strong workforce, training and education workforce. The people that are involved are a fantastic group, and I do love when I do get over to Asia to meet as many of them as possible. Obviously, led by a very able regional training manager in Jean Tong. He's really experienced. He's very good at his job, and he's worked hard to develop the structures and systems that are now in place within the unions. I think it's clear to see the passion that the workforce have in Asia. They're really enthusiastic. They're always keen to learn and to upgrade their skills. But importantly, that they're keen to share their knowledge with new and experienced stakeholders alike, whether that's coaches, referees, match day staff, medics, first aiders, the lot. So, no, Asia's doing really well, and especially during this pandemic time, it's been challenging for all of us, and rugby is no different, and training and education within rugby is no different. But Asia's been really keen to adapt and evolve how we do things. They've been really enthusiastic in exploring new methods to deliver our courses. As you may know, a lot of our courses are face-to-face by nature and involve time spent with the educator and the learners. But we are looking at trialing new hybrid methods. So Asia have been really proactive in trying to implement new ways, maybe some web learning before going to face-to-face courses. And they've also done or launched and run a really successful course of webinars such as this to help keep people's interest, to help keep upskilling, and making their skills better, keeping their skills current. So, yeah, I think Asia's doing really well. There's always that enthusiasm. The unions are always enthusiastic, and they also do appreciate the importance of a well-trained workforce to help grow the amount of players. Now, there's no point in having lots of players if you don't have lots of well-qualified coaches, match officials, medics, etc., to service those players. So I think Asia's doing really well, and it's great to see the progress that's happening, and obviously very well led, as I said, by Jean.
Oh, great to hear that. Great to hear that the general manager of World Rugby Training and Education speaks highly of us in Asia. Awesome. Anyway, probably Jean, you can add on to that. I guess you've been an educator for quite some time in Asia, and you've seen the from the beginning till now, the evolution, how the number of coaches that you've trained and whatnot. Can you add on to what Jock have said just now?
Oh yeah. Well, thanks for that, Rod. And totally agree with Jock there. I think things have evolved tremendously over the years. When I started this role in 2009, there were 8 courses being run a year. There were 64 accredited coaches and something like 30 over accredited match officials. Today, let's talk about 2019. Before the pandemic hit us, we were averaging about 500 face-to-face courses a year, and our online presence was well over 150,000. In terms of accreditations, we were way over 30,000. 2020 was a hard year because of the pandemic, but fair play to the unions. A lot of them tried to run online workshops, so we supported them, and we did get half a year of courses in. Early part of the year, we did some face-to-face, and then through the middle and the end was pretty much the start of the online bits. We did close to 500 courses last year. That's face-to-face and online. This year, even though we're only in April, the unions have come back and submitted their plans, even though it's really difficult because we don't know when the next lockdown is going to be for each country, when the situation changes. But this year, we have over 660 courses scheduled. That's online and face-to-face. So kudos to all the unions and all the union training education managers for their time and efforts in really making sure that training education continues despite the pandemic. As what Jock mentioned earlier, we're running a few pilots in Asia this year. The level 3 match official online pilot has just started. That's led by Charlie Brown. Most of you know him. He's also a trainer and a match official strand. So he's working together with a few other educators to roll this out online. So if the results are good, this might be the way forward for the other courses. We are also looking to develop level 3 coaching online, citing commissioners online, and a host of other courses. So once those are ready, those resources or hybrid courses are ready, we will inform the unions, and hopefully we can start rolling out more courses.
Oh, that's great to hear, guys. That's great to hear that, in Asia, we are very, very active in conducting all these courses all over Asia and also online. And hopefully, probably, I think this online thing is here to stay, because probably that's one of the best way moving forward. Let me probably, Jock, you can let us know what's what are the plans for World Rugby in 2021 and beyond for training and education?
Yeah, thanks, Rod. You may or may not be aware, but World Rugby's just recently launched their new strategic plan. I don't think it's been published yet, but the really encouraging thing for us is that training and education features highly in that, and we've got some big targets within that. We again, player welfare is the number one priority, so we want to make sure that there's suitably qualified personnel that are operating within the game. So our goals are pretty simple. At the end of the strategic plan, we want to make sure that every team has a qualified coach. We want to make sure that every team has a qualified medic, whether that's a first aider or someone with a higher level qualification, like immediate care in rugby or advanced immediate care in rugby. That's what we're looking for. We want to make sure that every match has a qualified referee refereeing the match. So those are some high level goals that we're working towards over the next strategic plan. It's always a challenge. It's with all our unions across the globe. There is a churn. Coaches predominantly come in and they coach their son or their daughter as a child, and then maybe work to 13 years old, and then they'll stop being a coach. Some will keep going, and then they'll stop at 18 when their son or daughter stops playing, and only a few will then go on to coach in the adult game. So there's always more people coming in at the bottom that need trained, whilst there's others that are leaving the game at the top. So one challenge is to try to keep those ones that are leaving, keep them involved in the game somehow, to helping them retrain. Whilst the other one is obviously to train the newbies that are coming in. So there's a constant churn of people needing trade. The other things that we're looking to do are to bring in new products, new training and education products. When we first started this journey, it was just coaching courses that we looked at, that we delivered. And now we've got 7 different strands of workforce. We've got programs and courses for match officials, for match day staff like sighting commissioners, judicial officers, match commissioners. We've got programs for strength and conditioning courses, for first aiders, for medics. We've got a new program for administrators of unions. So there's plenty going on. So we're always developing new content. But we've also got to make sure that we keep going back and making sure that what's there already is still fit for purpose. So we try to renew and review our existing content as well. So there'll be a lot of that going on. But there's some good new programs that have recently been launched or will be launched over the next little while. It's great to see Activate being rolled out, for example, in Asia. That's well and truly in progress, and Jean and the team there have done a great job to train up the workforce to deliver that program. Activate's our injury prevention program, which has been oh dear, there's a good old photo of me, or 2 photos of me, a bit younger and slimmer. Thank you, Ron. So Activate's getting out there, so we've got big plans to keep moving the Activate program out there. We've got our Administrators Academy, which is rolling out, and that's helping to train the leaders within differing levels of unions so that they can run their union effectively. So those programs are going to be running out this year. We've obviously, you said that you'd been trained in strength and conditioning by Jean back in the day, Rod. We've got new strength and conditioning courses and online modules that are age and stage appropriate, so children, youth, and adult courses. And we've recently launched some guidance on how for referees how to officiate during the breakdown, as well as things like the head contact process, which you may have seen, and that's really new, and that's an extension of what was the high tackle sanction framework, which was implemented at the last World Cup in Japan. So there's plenty going on. We're always looking to develop content that's needed and courses that needed. For example, the coaching kids workshop or children workshop that was rolled out recently, so that supplements our qualification structure of level 1, 2, and 3 coaching. And then we're also looking to provide CPD opportunities for the workforce that delivers our courses, but also for targeted groups such as the medics, the immediate care and rugby medics. So we've got some immediate care and rugby CPD, which has just recently been delivered in Asia, actually, the first one. So well done, and thanks, Asia, on our behalf. So those are all either new, relatively new, or have just been just in the process of getting rolled out. You saw the clip of Tackle Ready a few minutes ago, and thanks for showing that, Rod. That's our new program to help make more safe and effective tacklers with 5 stages of the tackle. And we're currently in the middle of producing that resource. Sadly, that was impacted pretty badly by the COVID pandemic. We managed to get the first 2 days of filming done, and then the UK was shut down. So we're only just, actually next week is when we restart the filming there. So hopefully shouldn't be too long before that resource is out there. And then accompanying that, we'll be training the workforce to then deliver that, so they can go out and deliver that within the regional association and within their member unions. So that's all going, which is very encouraging. And probably the biggest project that we've got going on at the moment is our relaunch of Passport. Passport is our online learning hub, which is where all our online learning modules are located. So if you want to learn anything about the game, there's something for you there. There's almost 30 online modules that are there for use. So we're moving that to a whole new platform. And one of the benefits of the new platform will be that it's responsive. So learners will be able to learn about the areas of the game they're interested in. They'll be able to do some online qualifications using their phone, for example, rather than just sitting at a computer. They'll be able to do it on a phone or a tablet when they're traveling. And we think that will be a game changer in terms of an uptake. Certainly in many markets, that's the tool of choice for learning. So that's coming around the corner as well soon.
Wow, you guys have been really, really busy planning this out for World Rugby. Well, I guess it's a whole big world out there. So that's why you guys be busy. Okay, what about Jean? You guys, if we talk about Asia, is the plan for training and education similar to World Rugby, or do you guys have a unique plan for Asia to be rolled out?
Well, I think first answer is that we are aligned. We have to be aligned as a regional association. So in terms of direction, it's very clear for World Rugby and Asia Rugby, player welfare is our top priority. As Jock did mention earlier, medical training in terms of pitch side care, match day doctors, player injury prevention programs like Activate, and then the new one that's coming out, Tackle Ready. So all these are the areas that we'll be focusing on in terms of driving forward, making sure that the community is engaged. Concussion is the other one that's been ongoing for a couple of years now, and concussion education is vital. It just ensures that everyone in the game is safe and everyone is aware that in Asia we do use 95% of the games in Asia use recognize and remove. So that's something that everybody has to be aware of. In terms of goals for training education in Asia, it has not changed. Our primary goals have always been to build unions towards self-sustainability. So this year, in fact, last year, we've had 3 new member unions joining Asia Rugby as Asia Rugby members. We are obviously trying to upskill them and build their workforce. Early on, we spoke about delivering a few hundred courses in Asia. Actually, our workforce is quite a lean one, quite a small one. We have 370 volunteer staff who work with us as trainers and educators across the region. A very small team of master trainers. There's only 6 of us, and with 3 more coming on board. So that's the crew that actually drives out all the training and education across the region. My role is to support them, and of course, I do deliver some of the programs. Now, in terms of this year specifically, one of our major projects that we're going to be rolling out is the online educator course that's coming up in June. So that's 3 days in June where we'll be doing online bits for the educator course. And then what we're going to do is split the group into a face-to-face for practicals in 5 sub-regions. So there's the West Asia, East Asia, Southeast Asia, Central Asia, and South Asia. So in the 5 sub-regions, that's where they will go and do their face-to-face. Where previously, in a non-COVID environment, we would be doing 3 to 4 days or part of a super week. We would run the educator course there. So yeah, big changes, but our direction is still pretty clear. We want to support unions. We want to upskill people in the unions. It's all about the quality, not so much the quantity.
Oh, for sure. Quality is really important, especially when you are delivering courses like this. This is to basically teach the people who's going to teach the players. So I guess it's only important that we teach, we roll out, we give the best quality that we can give. Anyway, to our audience out there, you guys can ask anything you want in respect with training and education. I'm sure Jean and Jock will be happy to answer any questions that you have. And of course, we already have a question which is from, let us see the first question on Facebook. Yeah, from Mahfizul Islam. I thought so. It's from Mahfizul Islam from Bangladesh. So Mahfizul Islam is one of our regulars who always follows us on Asia Rugby Live. So this is question for probably both of you. Do you think on the ongoing pandemic pushing us to think different ways of delivering training and education courses? So probably Jock, you can take this.
Okay, thank you very much, and thanks, Mufazul. Yes, it certainly has. We have to explore alternative options. We deliver a blended learning portfolio with some learning beforehand. So participants will go onto the passport and complete some modules. Then usually they'll come to a course to demonstrate what they know and to practice what they know and to get some feedback. Now, we are still delivering competency-based education, in order to assess whether somebody is competent, if they can coach, if they can match officiate, then we've got to be able to see them. So that what we can't do is just throw the old way out. We've still got to be able to assess properly. We've still got to be able to watch them in their environment. But there's definitely some little tweaks and changes that we made. So Jean's already talked about the Educator course and bringing down the number of face-to-face days on course. So if we can do that across the other portfolio and maybe reduce some of the larger courses, which are maybe 2 or 3 or 4 days face-to-face, bring that down to 2 or 3 days, then that's definitely something that we're looking at. And Jean has been very good in looking across all our portfolio and identifying what little tweaks and changes we can make. However, what we've got to remember is that if we do it for one region, we've got to be able to do that across all the other 5 regions. So, and then there are language capabilities and issues that we need to deal with. So, we are looking at it and we are looking forward to adapting. But I think what's really important is that we keep true to our the basis of our training, which is competency-based education. We've got to know that the learners can apply their knowledge. It's all very well saying that they know how to coach, but we want to then see them being able to coach. We want to see them delivering their first aid skills, for example. So that's what we're looking at. But Gino maybe be able to give you a bit more information on the process that he's gone about with his team there, I think.
Yeah, thanks for that, Jock. Before I start, I must say I have been tasked by my boss, which is the other guy here. His name is not Rod, to do 30 resources to look at them being online friendly. So not all of them, but I'll be probably doing half of them and rewriting it with the team in Asia. So yes, the way forward, Mahfizul, to your question, I think this pandemic has taught us a lot. Okay, it's taught us to trim our budgets, to use the internet even more than ever. We've been forced to engage more online, and we've also been forced to learn how to look after our screen time and ensure that we are in a good mental state of health. So in the way forward, yes, it will be a hybrid, where possible, face-to-face, okay, where budget constraints kick in, or there are other health concerns, we might use the hybrid sessions, which is partial online and partial face-to-face. So definitely this has taught us a lot, and it will impact the way going forward. But I think it's not a bad thing. In fact, I personally think it's a good thing, because if you think about saving budgets on hotels for a big group of 30 people for 1 day or 2 days and meals, that money can actually go into other areas like translation of resources or training other groups. So yeah, I think it's actually a positive thing.
For sure. And I think I agree. I definitely agree that it's a positive thing. Probably it will also most likely, who knows, produce more educators or coaches or even referees in the future, because we can do everything online now. Moving forward, Jock, what are the pathway and opportunities, as you know, if one wants to get involved with training and education? Can you share with us?
Yeah, no problem, Rod. Yeah, it's great to hear that there's interest out there in getting involved. So, first things first is you've got to be a member of your national union. And you have to be somebody that the national union wants to be delivering World Rugby courses on their behalf. So there's a few criteria, but that's certainly one of them. So not just anybody can deliver World Rugby courses. They have to be nominated by the union, and they have to then go through educator training. Before they go through educator training, they've got to go through all their online learning requirements as well. And there's quite a few of those, and that's for a very good reason. We want to make sure that the people that are representing World Rugby, that have the educator or the trainer badge on their chest, are appropriately qualified and have the knowledge and skills to be able to do it. Thirdly, they have to be qualified within that strand. So if it's a coach educator, for example, then we need them to be qualified up to level 2 or above as a minimum. So you've got to be an experienced coach before you can become a coach educator. And it's not a race. You know, we see quite often young, enthusiastic coaches want to become an educator as quickly as possible. And it's all about being able to deliver appropriately, being able to deliver to our training and education methodology, and to help others learn and to share your knowledge and experience. So those are some of the steps that need to be taken. Once an educator's qualified and then they become licensed, and that means that they're licensed to deliver, but they're only licensed to deliver in their own union. Sometimes more experienced educators or trainers will be asked by Jean to maybe deliver in some other unions on Asia Rugby's and World Rugby's behalf. But usually educators are only permitted to deliver within their own union. So again, that's another step. Once they get very experienced, then we maybe consider asking them to join the delivery teams that maybe look after some of the higher level courses. But in the first instances, a new coach educator would be delivering level 1 courses, for example. There's opportunities within the other strands, certainly within the player welfare strand. We have first aid educators, and then we have medical educators. Now there are different, they're kind of different sub-strands, for example. So to become a first aid educator, you need to obviously have the first aid qualification. It helps if you've got a first aid background. But even if you're a coach educator with a first aid educator background, you would still need to go through the educator course to show that you can teach the first aid skills effectively. So there's lots of criteria, there's lots of rules and regulations about it. But what we are sure of is that once educators are in the team, and as long as they're keen to continue their learning and update their knowledge and skills on a basis, then we're keen to have them. And as long as the union's keen to have them and we're keen to have them, then they maintain their license. You know, as Jean's already mentioned, I think, you know, looking at it, almost 400 educators and trainers out in Asia. They've got a great team of people with so much enthusiasm for the game, and I actually think that they are Asian Rugby's biggest asset in terms of growing the game. They are the key people that will help the unions to grow and thrive. You know, it's a business. Training and education is a business critical function.
I guess that makes Jean's job a little bit easier with the people who are, you know, who really love their rugby over here. And probably Jean, you know, just now we were talking about the pathway and opportunities, and you've been an educator for quite some time. And as an educator, what are the challenges that you face, and how do you overcome it?
Wow. Okay, that's an interesting one. Yeah, there are lots of challenges in training and education. I guess the biggest ones, especially I'll talk about the start when I was a new educator, was actually culture. Being new, and then your first time traveling to another country to deliver a course, or be part of a course. I was actually in Japan and teaching a course there. When I walked into the classroom, it was a university classroom. Everyone was staring at me, and I thought, okay, maybe because I'm wearing a World Rugby shirt or IRB shirt, then okay, it wasn't the case. It's because I didn't take off my shoes, so everyone was staring at me. So yeah, understanding the culture, learning the language. I think these are things that are fundamental. If you want to be part of the regional team as an educator, if you're a domestic educator, then honing your skills, looking for a mentor, a senior educator to guide you along, to give you feedback or do our quality assurance. I think that those are the things that are key to becoming better educators. So yeah, in terms of challenges, um, language would be one of them also. Language is a big challenge, especially if you're working through a translator. Ever so often, we forget that the translator has to translate, and we keep talking for a good 5-10 minutes, and then the translator gives us a blank look. Then we'll have to repeat everything, short sentences. Yeah, so those, I guess, those are the two biggest challenges. Jock, what about you? Did you face any of those when you started out?
Yeah, absolutely, Gene, and all of those challenges, all of those responses as well. The language piece for me is the big thing. I obviously speak English, albeit with a Scottish accent, and I've got enough French to help me by. But I really struggle when you come to other areas where the languages are so different, and that's probably the biggest challenge. The I think Gene's right about the skills and updating skills. You know, the educator and trainer skills are perishable. If you don't use them, you lose them. So I think that's a challenge, and especially in this pandemic time. You know, a lot of the educators won't have delivered as many courses, for example, as they would usually do within their own unions. And I think keeping one's own educator skills or trainer skills up, especially just now, is a big challenge. But Gene's already mentioned the support mechanisms that are there, and there's opportunities to be quality assured by the master trainers and the trainer workforce. There's opportunities just to reach out and get in touch and have a chat and discuss some ideas. I think that's a big thing. There's a lot of experienced people out there that are very good at what they do, and putting into place a community of practice is one of the things that we're hoping to do again later in the year with a new online tool, a way for us to communicate with the workforce, a way for Gene to communicate with the Asia Pacific workforce. And you've got to remember that for Gene, Tong in Asia, all the other regional associations, they've got their own regional training manager and medical education managers who, with a workforce that they manage. So we're looking at that about providing tools and opportunities and to be able to do that. And I think that will really help, as I say, especially just now.
I guess all the challenges is what make you guys keep coming back for, to train everyone. I guess the challenges makes it a bit more fun, eh? Anyway, we have one more Facebook question, and this is from Nasser Hussein. Let us see the question.
Hi, Nasser.
Is what are we looking at a rugby specific curriculum, training and education that could be rolled out in conjunction with universities as a certificate program? Jock, probably you can take this.
Yeah, not specifically at the moment, but there is a working group that's looking at the basic forms of the game at the moment, and what we provide, whether it's 7s, 10s, 15s, non-contact variations of the game. So there is a working group working there to see whether we need to package that differently. But certainly with regards to rugby specific programs for universities, I'm not sure, Nasser, whether you're talking about actual the universities teaching the game, but we're not looking at the moment. But we're always interested to hear. We're always interested to hear suggestions. We do have programs in other strands that are delivered by higher educational backgrounds, and it's something that I'd be keen to hear about more and certainly consider moving forward.
Yeah, I guess that's one area that you guys can explore. And okay, we have another. I thought that was the last Facebook question. There's another last Facebook question, and this is from the president himself of Asia Rugby, Kais Abdullah Al Dalai, to Jock. World Rugby has successfully launched the laws in new languages recently. Arabic, given that rugby is a global sport and compared with FIFA law, which is available in 4 official languages, which is English, German, Spanish, and French, and translated to another 15 languages. Will World Rugby consider investing in the same manner?
Yeah, hello, Case. Well, if you log on to our laws site, the laws are actually translated into multiple languages now. I don't want to. I wonder if I can just check here. Open up a new tab. Forgive me. I hope you can still see me whilst I'm.
Yeah, we can.
I'm just playing about on another screen, just so I can confirm the amount of languages that we've got the laws available in. Give me one moment whilst this. If you go to world.rugby / the game or / the -game / laws / home, we've obviously got the laws of the game there. Now, at the moment, we translate the laws of the game into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Laws of the game are translated into 12 languages, case already at the moment.
Well, so that's great to hear, and probably, who knows, in the future we can see more languages that is being introduced, that is being translated to the respective languages, like Indonesia or Bahasa Melayu, or probably that would benefit the people in Malaysia, Indonesia, and probably some Singaporeans as well. Gina. Anyway, okay.
I'm glad this was brought up. Maybe just a quick one from me.
Yeah.
Over the years, there have been many requests for translations, but the reality is this: what is the potential traction available for that resource? If there's only going to be 5 people looking at it, is it worth it to spend £5,000 to translate a resource? But if there's a potential of a couple of thousand people that will really use that resource, then yeah, I'm sure we can bring up a strong case to look at World Rugby can invest in that with the regions to do that. So just be clear to everyone out there, yes, we need to do translations, but we also need to think about the traction of that resource in that language.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, last few questions, some rapid questions for you guys before we leave. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask one by one. So I'm going to call your name, let's ask a question, and as fast as possible, please answer the question as fast as possible. Okay, Jock, favorite player?
Kenny Milne.
Jean, favorite player?
Zinzanbrook.
Jean, favorite team?
All Blacks.
Jock, favorite team?
Has to be Scotland.
Jock, forwards or backs?
Oh, forwards.
Jean, forwards or backs?
Match official, forward.
Jean, who's going to win the Olympics for the men's team?
I would love the All Blacks to win, but I think Fiji is strong.
Wow. Jock, who's going to win the Olympics for the women's category?
I think Australia.
Jock again, who's going to win the Rugby World Cup in 2023?
Oh. Well, I France on home soil. France on home soil could be worth a bet. If not New Zealand, I don't know. There's lots of teams that could do it. South Africa, England, Scotland. Who knows?
Okay, what about you, Gene? Who's going to win the World Cup in 2023?
I'm not a prophet, so sorry, I can't help you there, Ron. I know the team I want to win, but I would love for them to win. But the reality is, it's so tight now. It's so tight now. And a few years away, things can change. Yeah.
Okay, last question for both of you. Okay, Gene, who's going to win the Women's Rugby World Cup?
Oof.
Huh.
Likelihood. Can I name top three?
Top two.
Top two. Okay. Probably England, New Zealand in the
Jock.
finals.
Yeah, I watched England play last week against Scotland, and England looked really impressive. So I think England or New Zealand will win that, I think.
All right. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. For sharing your thoughts and experiences on the show. Jock, all the way from Edinburgh, Scotland, and Jean from my neighboring country in Singapore. I really miss Jean. I've always told this to all the guests from Singapore that I really miss going to Singapore. I really miss going to Singapore.
You don't miss me. You miss Singapore. Okay,
I
got
miss
that.
Singapore. I miss you too. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for being on the show.
You're
You
very
guys have been
welcome.
great. And to the audience, thank you very much for joining us on HR Rugby Live. Don't forget to join us again next week. Till then, I'm Rod. Take care and see you again.
Fantastic.
Goodbye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Asia. Thank you.